I had to spend a little bit of time biting my tongue in the last session, being an outsider from Sydney, but I'll try to get through this. So basically what I'm going to do now is just, we've sat around and we've discussed the statement, and we've tried to come up with something that centrally represents our understanding and our engagement with the Palestinian campaign for the academic and cultural boycott of Israel. That actually predates the BDS call to 2004. I'll say one thing before I read it, and that is that we thought it was fundamental, the importance of recognising our own history of dispossession, colonisation in this country, and the structures of apartheid that still exist in our own country. So, as artists aware of our colonial history, we recognise the continued dispossession of Indigenous people of this land, and we support the human rights of the Indigenous people of Palestine to live on their land with dignity, free from military occupation and the brutality of the Israeli apartheid system. Israel's apartheid regime over the Palestinian people is a system that separates and discriminates against people based on their ethnicity. It is a system that is institutionalised by laws and military force. Artists Against Apartheid in Australia is part of an international alliance committed to human rights and justice, and to the elimination of apartheid in our world, including Australia. We stand in solidarity with the call from the Palestinian civil society for boycott, divestment and sanctions. We actively support the academic and cultural boycott of Israel. In so doing, we will use our creativity and work to raise awareness, community awareness of Israel's apartheid practices, including demolition of Palestinian homes and land theft through settlement expansion. We will connect with Palestinian artists under occupation and make their voices heard beyond the occupation. We will endeavour to interconnect Indigenous artists of both lands. We support the call for international artists not to perform or exhibit work in apartheid Israel, unless in solidarity with anti-apartheid events. We will not perform, exhibit or otherwise participate in events sponsored by the State of Israel or institutions complicit in its apartheid. We will not perform, exhibit or otherwise participate in events which deceptively suggest symmetry or shared responsibility between both sides for Israel's ongoing colonial oppression of Palestinian people and its system of apartheid. We will adhere to the Palestinian Academic and Cultural Boycott Initiative guidelines for the international cultural boycott of Israel. The cultural boycott of Israel as a key component of the global BDS movement shall be maintained until Israel meets its moral and legal obligations to recognise the Palestinian people's inalienable right to self-determination by ending its occupation and colonisation of all Palestinian lands and dismantling the apartheid wall, recognising the fundamental rights of Palestinian citizens of Israel to full equality, and respecting, protecting and promoting the rights of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes and properties as stipulated in UN Resolution 194. We call on all artists in Australia to support the vital BDS movement. A direct response by citizens of the world to the failure of so-called international diplomacy. It is no longer possible to remain silent. To be silent is to be complicit. Artists Against Apartheid is a positive and non-violent movement that creatively works for justice in Palestine.